Paonia solstice. Solstice in, I think it's in California, 1971 or something. This was one solstice where more and more attention came to be focused on couples. Many of the hippies were abandoning their free love ways and wanting to settle in with the yogi, the Sikh, to find a good righteous Shakti or Shakti man to marry and maybe raise up some little yogi Sikhs. With Yogi Bhajan it was easy, sort of. You just told him you wanted to marry. If you thought you were ready, he would find someone for you. Sometimes he would find a perfect match for your soul, right on the spot. These marriages were not necessarily painless. Nobody said they were supposed to be, but if you could handle the pressures, they were very good for your soul. At Paonia, Yogi Bhajan held a meeting with the women and another with the men to talk to them about the importance of married life. He described marriage as a kind of yoga. Two people entered into it, and what came out was one unified soul. At least that was the idea. When Ganga, together with her husband Larry and other teachers, were becoming actively involved, even Ganga, I should say, and her husband were becoming actively involved in matching people up, making perfect couples, finding people their soulmates. They had someone in mind for a student who had come along to the Colorado. It was the Colorado solstice. They told this fellow, Bobak Masters, a law student at Columbia, not to bother Yogi Bhajan about it. But Bob's soul-felt longing took him to seek out the master despite their advice. He had never spoken directly with Yogi Bhajan before. Yogi Bhajan listened carefully. His eyes looked through Bob as though through pure glass. Then he pointed in the distance. Bring back that girl with the red bandana. Obediently, Bob followed the direction the finger had pointed a little awkwardly. He was nearsighted and had some difficulty seeing anyone at any distance. Finally, he found someone with a red kerchief, and brought them back to see what Yogi Bhajan had to say. No, Yogi Bhajan said matter-of-factly, not a man, a woman. You got the wrong person. Bring the woman with the bandana. Determinedly, Bob set out again, awkwardly and a little embarrassed. Another red bandana presented itself. This time it was a young woman. Stiffly, he tapped her on the shoulder and said, Yogi Bhajan wants to see you. As he took her back to the Master Yogi, Bob's mind raced ahead of him. Why, it said, am I doing this? There are millions of women in the world. Why this particular one? Yogi Bhajan smiled his approval. Your auras are blue like the ocean. We will make each other happy. And there's another story. Black Krishna told me this one. Barry Ribbons from Seattle also informed Yogi Bhajan of his desire to be married. Yogi Bhajan sent the word out to see if there were any ladies who would like to be married. After a time, about a half dozen young women came to be interviewed by Yogi Bhajan in his cabin. Once he had spoken with each of them, the master said to Krishna, who had observed everything with some amazement, I think that one would be nicest. The senior teacher was then asked to take the lady named Erica and introduce her to the man from Seattle so they could see whether they both felt the same way Yogi Bhajan did. Barry could be seen with his back to them up by the camp kitchen on the top of a hill not far away. The lady and her escort began to make their way along the path leading to the top of the hill. Once they had almost ascended the hill, something happened. The man's back straightened as he slowly turned to look. His gaze fell on this lady as hers fell on him. Her escort stopped and watched as the two of them began to walk into the space between them. They met. They began to speak. And after some minutes had passed, Eric and Barry turned away from the cabin, ascending the final distance of the hill. Behind them, everyone could see the sun setting in heroic splendor as the couple strode and spoke. There was so much to say. In all, 22 couples were married that solstice. True story.